Hey everyone, here showing off one of my personal decks, actually one of my favorite. This is my big kind of Timmy Dragons deck. So this is all centered around Lathliss Dragon Queen, legendary creature dragon. Just flying. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. And it has the traditional fire breathing one and a red dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Absolutely love this deck. It is just filled with dragons. Dragons is kind of one of the things that kind of got me into Magic. I kind of centered around a tribal too that kind of got me into deck building and the creativity of Magic. And so Lathliss was kind of one. Now I did try to make a standard deck when I kind of was starting out with this, but it wasn't that great. But fortunately, as a lot of people know, you can take some of those cards and make them into great fun commander decks. So there will be a lot of big dragons in this one. So we'll start off with a few haste enablers slash protection. So swift boots to for an equipment, quick creature gets hexproof and haste, and it's quick for one. Traditional lightning greaves. These kind of always generally go together. Haste and shroud for lightning greaves and equip 0, or swift boots, which is equip 1 and it's hexproof. So these are really to give protection because Lathliss will be targeted, as well as give haste to some dragons as well, because you'll have some big dragons coming in. Also, in addition, Dragon Tempest, one in a red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. This enchantment is actually really good. You get this down, and all these 5/5 tokens that you're going to be making are going to have haste. You're going to deal the X damage. I find is a little bit inconsequential. Sometimes you'll take down some mana dorks here and there, do a little bit of damage, not too much, um, but the haste is really important. So these are kind of my haste collection. They'll give my creatures haste. Now, the next thing is my ramp package. Now, this deck, the CMC is large, so I need quite an abnormal amount of ramp. Now, this did start out as a budget deck, so it has a lot of big, thick ramps, nothing too too efficient. But you need some of that extra colorless mana that some of these are going to produce. So Soul Ring, 1 tap for 2. Wayfarer's Bauble, sacrifice Wayfarer's Bauble, search your library for a basic land card and put that card onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle your library. That costs 2 to tap that. Fantastic. I'm generally not doing too much in the early turns, so just getting more land into the battlefield is great. Can signet to tap any mana and colors, commander's color identity. Great. Fell one stone, same. Now, your opponents may not necessarily be playing red, but there are not too many red pips, I would say, in this deck. So any color is generally fine. So you just want the 2 mana ramp. Mind Stone to tap it for 1, or pay 1 and sacrifice it, draw a card. Just good late game card draw. Dragon's Horde. I'm going to be playing a lot of dragons, so this is 3. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under control, put a gold counter on Dragon's Horde, and you can remove a gold counter from Dragon's Horde to draw a card, or it's 1 of any mana. Great late game draw, because you're going to have a few counters on there. Warm Powerstone is basically Soul Ring, but for 3, and it comes in tapped. So even a Soul Ring that costs 2 more and comes in tap is still really good, because I'm going to want to play this on 3. Then on 4, play my 4th land plus this, and I'll be getting Lathliss out. So I want to kind of aim for that turn 4, turn 3 Lathliss if possible. Commander Sphere. Costs 3 and adds 1 mana of your commander's color identity. This is okay mana rock. I like it because it sacrifices and you can draw a card. So again, let some late game draw because this is a red deck and there's not too much draw. Herald's Horn. It's cost 3. It's an artifact. Herald Horn enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. We're choosing dragons. Creature types cost 1 less. It's great because a lot of dragons have generic mana in their cost. It's very rare to have a dragon that doesn't. So you're going to be, these kind of reducers are really good. And at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. I have a lot of dragons, so this will sometimes hit. That's fine. It's really there for the reducing costs. Solemn Simulacrum, for an artifact creature golem. Whenever it enters battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put that land onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. And when it dies, draw a card. This is mainly just to get the land out onto the battlefield, and then draw a card if it dies. I don't really have anything to enable that, but I can use it as a nice little blocker in the early game. Hadrian Archive, 4 for an artifact, taps for 2 generic, and I can sacrifice it for 2 and draw a card. So this is just a bigger Mind Stone. Again, I had these kind of 4 mana generic mana cost producing cards just to kind of get the ramp up because I want to be playing big dragons. I don't really have a lot of small dragons. So, I want as much ramp. 3 Dynamo, 4 mana artifact, taps for 3 mana. To give you 3 mana, sorry. Great ramp. Gives me all the generic mana I need. Cage Sun, enters the battlefield, choose a color, 6 mana artifact. Creatures you control the chosen color get +1/+1. Generally not really that important, but it can be nice. But whenever a land's ability causes you to add 1 or more mana of the chosen color, add an additional mana of that color. So you're going to double your mountains, and you will play a lot of mountains in this deck. So fantastic. Dragons are generally big enough so they don't need the +1/+1, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, it can be nice because Lathliss is a 6/6. So making her 7/7, can add to commander damage quite nicely. I have 2 dragon reducers, so Dragon Lord Servant, 1 in a red, dragon spells cost 1 less to cast, so that's a 1/3. And then Dragon Speaker Shaman, 1 and 2 red, dragon spells you play cost 2 less to play. So these just reduce dragons. Again, a lot of dragons, you get it. These are quite good. And then I've got Jessica's Wheel and Mana Geyser, 2 kind of ritual effects. Jessica's Wheel, fantastic. 2 in a red. Choose 1. If you control a commander, you've cast this spell. You may choose both. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand, or exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. And Mana Geyser, which is 3 and 2 red. Add red to your mana pool for each tap land your opponent's control. So Jessica's Will, really, really powerful card. Great to get some red mana in your pool as well as exile cards. Now, if I have an opponent, with 6 cards in their hand and it's turn 3, I will play this just to get Lathliss out. So you don't necessarily get the value of the double, just because your commander is so expensive and everything kind of centers around your commander. But if you do have your commander, if you're fortunate enough to get it out, you can get some free card draw. But I will mainly use this just for the ritual. 3 mana, 6/6 is pretty good for me. Mana Guys are also great. This one can often produce, by turn 5, it could produce, up to 15 red. So, it's your commander and another dragon. So very, very powerful. So that's kind of the mana producers. You need a lot of them because the CMC of this is over 4. So quite quite high. I've got a few planeswalkers, mostly for thematics. Sarkin Fireblood, the the Dragon Planeswalker. So 3 mana, so 1 and 2 red. You +1, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. It's great for filtering. +1, add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this mana to cast dragon spells. This is usually fantastic. I can get this down on 3. First tick up to discard. If it survives, sometimes because I don't have a lot of early game, it's it could be targeted down. But if it does survive for turn 4, then that 2 mana again will get you Lathliss. And -7 create 4 5/5 red dragon tokens with flying. Pretty great, this one. I actually quite enjoy. Sarkin, the Master List. Sometimes I take this in and out. It is there generally for the thematics. I just really like Sarkin as a planeswalker, and I think this one's decent enough. So 3 and 2 red. So whenever a creature attacks you or planeswalker you control, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. So a bit of a defensive buff, which I kind of like. Until the end of the turn, each planeswalker you control becomes a 4/4 red dragon creature and gains flying. Not really too relevant. I don't have that many planeswalkers. And create a 4/4 red dragon token with flying. I just want as many dragons as I can. And then the actual dragon planeswalker, again, here for thematics. It is a dragon, so it should be in a dragon deck. So Ugin the Ineffable costs 6. Color spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, which is really good because I have a lot of artifacts. So you do get that reduction. +1, exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 color spirit creature token. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card in your hand. A little bit of card draw, kind of nice. But mainly it's for the -3, destroy target permanent that's 1 or more color, and it comes with 4 loyalty. Really there just to take out a pesky permanent if I can, but he is a dragon, so he's in the deck. And then Ugin the Spirit Dragon, the actual big one. The only reason I have this in is because it got a reprint, which is nice. So it costs 8, comes in with 7 loyalty, +2 Ugin the Spirit Dragon deals 3 damage to any target. Usually not relevant. It's nice to lightning bolt people. Or some permanents, which is fine, but the -X, exile each permanent with converted mana X or less. That's 1 or more colors. So really, really great because my dragons are starting at 6, so I can wipe anything that's 5 or less, which is usually a lot of things. So really great board wipe. And -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and then put 7 permanent cards onto the hand onto the battlefield. From your hand onto the battlefield, sorry. Yeah, great ultimate game winning, but I've never actually got there. So yeah. I've got a little bit of draw, not a lot. This deck is not focused on drawing. You're just going to be playing off the top sometimes. But there is a bit of draw with some of your dragons that kind of help. Yeah, I have a little bit in here. So Faithless Looting, fantastic card for 1, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. I'm not really playing with my graveyard. It has flashback for 2 and a red. Yeah, I'm not playing with my graveyard, but it's really just to make sure that I'm selecting my cards and getting the right ones. And then Sarkin's Triumph, which is a tutor, so it's instant, 2 and a red, search a library for a dragon creature card, reveal it, put it onto your hand, then shuffle your library. Yeah, just sometimes this is, if it's a late game, that it's any dragon that can kind of win you the game. This says, so far has won me the game 1 or 2 times. Just drawing this and be able to get that dragon that I need, that Haste Dragon, that one that comes in with a enter the battlefield effect that's powerful, things like that. Is instant speed, so it's quite nice. So I have a bit of removal in here. I guess with dragons, you are generally asking your opponents to have the answers because you have some big flyers. So I have a little bit of removal, but not too much, again, because it's focused around the dragons. So Vandal Blast 1, destroy target artifact you don't control, and Overload 4 and a red. You have a lot of artifacts, so you don't necessarily want to destroy your own. So this is fantastic, but it's super efficient. Chaos Bulb, you're in red, you don't have that much great removal. So 3 in a red instant, the owner of target permanent shuffles it into his or her library, then reveals the top of the card of his or her library. If it's a permanent card, he or she puts it on the battlefield. Just great to get rid of, those enchantments that you can't really deal with, or any blockers. Then I have Earthquake and Magma Quake, very similar. So X and a red for Earthquake. Earthquake deals X damage to each creature without flying and each player. And Magma Quake is the same, but it costs X and 2 red and it's instant. So just great board wipes in my deck because it generally hits almost nothing for me and will hit a lot. Now, there may be some players that will have some flying, but no one really has too much unless they have something like a blue-white flyers deck. So you're going to hit a lot of things. And it also hits players as well. Magma Quake doesn't hit players, but it hits players' walkers. So yeah, great. And then Blasphemous Act, super cheap. 8 and a red. The spell costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Axe deals 13 damage to each creature. Just great, efficient. There will be 8 creatures on the battlefield. So if you need to, you can get rid of it. Now I've got some of my kind of value cards that kind of work with the dragons because they will be big creatures coming onto the board. So first up, Molten Echoes, 2 and 2 red enchantment. Choose a creature type when it enters the battlefield. I'll choose Dragon. Whenever a non-token creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield under your control, get a token that's a copy of that creature. That token gains haste, exile at the beginning of your next end step. So this is great. I have a lot of things that check for dragons, like Dragon Tempest. Check how many dragons I have. So there's quite a few. There are some legendary dragons which it doesn't quite work with, but you will get some of those into the battlefield effects. So it can be quite nice. Plus, if you're swinging in with a 7/7 dragon that doesn't have haste, you'll get that 7/7 dragon into somebody and get some nice damage. So I actually quite like Molten Echo. Where Ancients Tread, 4 and a red enchantment. Whenever a creature with power 5 or greater comes to the battlefield under your control, you may have Where Ancients Tread, deal 5 damage to target creature or player. I have a lot of dragons. The tokens generating from Lathliss have 5, so this will trigger quite a lot. And doing 5 damage here and there is, can be quite devastating, especially if some players are getting lower on health. You can start hitting them. So quite good. If I can get this down, then get Lathliss down, then get some tokens generating. Warstorm Surge, similar philosophy, 5 and a red. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Also fantastic. I've got 6, 7 power creatures coming in. So I'm starting to do some big damage. And then the big daddy of them all, Fiery Emancipation, got a nice foil version. Enchantment, if you source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple damage to that permanent or player instead. We're doing Warstorm Surge damage, we're doing lots of incidental pings here and there with some of our dragon effects. And in addition with Lathliss, Lathliss is a 6/6, but it has fire breathing for 1 and red. So if you get this down and you're able to use the fire breathing effect, that will be 21 commander damage because it will be 7 tripled, and you will take somebody out. So I've actually done this quite a lot, more than I actually thought I would. Maybe it's just a bit of a bias that I remember those moments, but often I will play Lathliss down because I have so much ramp. I'll have Lathliss down. I'll play Fire Emancipation and Fire Breathe her, so that will cost 8 mana, 6 and then 2 for the Fire Breathing effect, and we'll just kill one person. So I really enjoy this card. This is probably one of the most fun cards I've got in the deck. And then we've got pretty much our Dragon Suite. These are all the dragons that are going to be in the deck. There's about 30 or so, some non-dragons, but are all centered around dragons. But it's about 30 for this tribe. They have a range of effects. Dragons seem to come in every set and do a lot of different things. So it's actually quite nice, and you can get a lot of enjoyment playing all the different kinds of dragons. So first up, Dragon Master, one for a creature, human shaman, 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token. This is just some value in the later game. You have to get to six lands, but you're going to start getting those 5/5 flyers to help with the board. Territorial Hellcat, 2 and 2 red, creature dragon, flying haste. Haste is quite nice at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Choose an opponent at random that Territorial Hellcat didn't attack during your last combat. Territorial Hellcat attacks that player this combat if able. If you can't choose an opponent this way, tap the Hellcat. And it's 6/5, just 6/5, just haste right into somebody. You're choosing at random, but on turn 4, you don't care. You just want to start hitting people. Leyline Tyrant from Seneca Rising, 2 and 2 red, flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. So it is important to make sure that you're using your mana rocks first, because you can keep your red mana. Whenever Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay an amount of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to the target. I generally like to use my mana, so it might just be a small amount here or there, but still a fun card. Opportunistic Dragon, 2 and 2 red, flying. Whenever Opportunistic Dragon enters the battlefield, choose target human or artifact an opponent controls, or as long as Opportunistic Dragon remains on the battlefield, gain control of that permanent, it loses all abilities and it can't attack or block. It's great. You steal someone's Sol Ring. Just disrupt someone's plan for a little bit, or some important artifact. I don't find that I take a lot of humans, but I will take someone's Sol Ring just to be a pest. Thunderbreaker Regent, 2 and 2 red. Whenever dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability opponent controls, Thunderbreaker Regent deals 3 damage to that player. It's a 4/4. This one's just a cheap dragon. It can do a little bit of damage, but a nice little 4/4 in the air is fine. Varric's Bladewing, 2 and 2 red, has kicker for 3. Flying, whenever Varric's Bladewing enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a Varric's Bladewing, a legendary create a Karok's Bladewing, a legendary 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Again, just to get more dragons onto the battlefield. It's 4/4, it doesn't quite hit the 5/5 mark that we want, but it's still quite nice. It's just 2 bodies. Nesting Dragon, 3 and 2 red, flying landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 0/2 red dragon and creature token with defender. And when this creature dies, create a 2/2 red dragon token with flying and has fire breathing for 1. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. This is 5/4. It's great. Again, I'm just getting dragon bodies out. I don't really have any landfall synergies, so I'm just playing my lands for turn. I do have a lot of lands, so I'm just getting as many dragons as I can out. Stormbreaker Dragon, flying, haste, protection from white, monstrosity for 5 and 2 red, monstrosity 3. When it becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand, and it's 4/4. This is really just for the haste effect. Monstrous, 7 mana for monstrous, pretty expensive, but a nice little 4/4 for haste is quite nice. Thunderball Hellcat, 3 and 2 red, flying, haste. When Thunderball Hellcat enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent controls. Tap those creatures. That's 5/5. I've tutored for this card just to get rid of flying blockers, just to swing in for the win. So yeah, fantastic. Just get rid of the opponent's blockers, as well as just a 5/5 haste in the air. And with Lathliss, then you're getting another 5/5. It's fantastic. Glorybringer, 3 and 2 red, flying haste. You may exert Glorybringer as it attacks. When you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. So quite nice. Just a 4 damage can get rid of some of those pesky creatures on the ground. Nothing too big, but again, just flying haste, fantastic. Goldspan Dragon, 3 and 2 reds. This is new from Kaldheim. Flying haste. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks, becomes the target of a spell. Create a treasure token, and treasure token is tapped for an additional mana. Yeah, it's great. Like, this is great for just getting the ramp started. So if you can get this in the mid game and then get some treasure tokens, people will want to destroy your Lathliss commander. So you need mana. Like, I've cast Lathliss for 12, 14 mana. So you need mana. So I don't really have a lot of treasure synergies, but just getting some treasure is quite nice. Terror of the Peaks from M21. This is probably I think the best dragon, and there's some big dragons to come, but one of the best. 3 and 2 red, flying. Spells your opponents cast a target Terror of the Peaks, costs an additional 3 life to cast. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield and you control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to the target creature's power to any target. So this is a Warstorm Surge effect, but I am producing big creatures. So this can be a game-winning card for sure. Because this will also work off your tokens that you're producing from Lathliss. So this will, if you have Lathliss out, then play this. This will come on, you will trigger, and you'll immediately get the 5 damage to something. Scourge of the Valkyries. This is a big win condition. 2 and 3 red, flying. It's 4/4, whatever. Scourge of Valkyries or another dragon that is a battlefield you control. It deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control, and Scourge of Valkyries gets +1, +1 until end of turn for a red mana. Yeah, big win condition. If this can stay on the board, you play this and you're going to get a Lathliss trigger. So you have Lathliss, this, and that. You're going to be dealing 3 damage. Then if you're getting, any other subsequent dragons, they're also getting additional bodies. So you're dealing lots and lots of damage from this one. So this one's really, really good. Still Hellkite. Probably one of the weaker dragons. So 6 mana artifact creature has flying. You can pay 2 and give it 5 breathing, so +1/+0. Or you can pay X and destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X, whose controller was dealt damage by Still Hellkite. This turn, activate this ability only once each turn. So it's a 5/5. You have to swing in with it, then activate its X. It can get quite expensive, but sometimes you just need to get rid of some permanents, but you do need to wait kind of that turn and be able to attack them. So it's been okay. Sometimes it will destroy. I'll get rid of some Soul Rings or something from somebody. Runehorn Hellkite, 5 and a red, flying. It's a 5/5. Nothing too much from that other than you can pay 5 and a red, exile Runehorn Hellkite from your graveyard. If player discards his or her hand, then draw 7 cards. So it's a wheel. It's 6 mana wheel. I don't have a lot of draw effects, but it gets late in the game. I've got no cards in my hand. I will play 6. It's not a card in my hand. It's in my graveyard. I've already got the value. I will discard this to Faithless Looting, for instance, or my opponents will discard. I'll get rid of this just so it's in my graveyard. Hellcat Charger, 4 and 2 red, flying haste for 5. It's 5/5. Whenever Hellcat Charger attacks, you may pay 5 and 2 red if you do untap all taken creatures, and after this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Fantastic win condition. It is a bit difficult because it is haste and then paying 7 on top of that. So you're paying 13 mana to get that effect. It's a bit expensive. I've only ever done it once, but you can get this out. Then next turn you can pay for that additional combat, and you'll have a lot of dragons. Rise, I don't know how to say it, the Falling Star, 5 and 1 red, flying legendary creature, Dragon Spirit. whenever it dies, it deals 5 damage to each creature without flying. It's 5/5. Just simple board wipe. It's not going to affect anything you've got, but it's going to kill stuff your opponents have. Hellcat Courser, new from Commander Legends, 4 and 2 red, flying. When Hellcat Courser enters the battlefield, you may put commander you own from the command zone onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to the command zone at the beginning of the next end step as 6/5. Huge beater. It will bring Lathliss now. Now, again, people will target your Lathliss, so it can be in your command zone. It doesn't really have a lot of synergy with Lathliss other than just getting out just to do some beating down. Because you're not going to get your Lathliss trigger, for instance, because this will already be on the battlefield. But it's great sometimes just to get a 6/6 down and just hit somebody. I want to be attacking. So, yeah. Hellcat Tyrant, 4 and 2 red, flying, trample, 6/5. Whenever Hellcat Tyrant deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. Now, I do have a lot of artifacts, but this is generally, I've actually never won off this effect. But I do have a lot of artifacts. If you have an artifact opponent, you could possibly make it, but it's just nice just to get somebody's artifacts out of the way. And it's got trample, it's nice. Scourge of the Throne, another big one. So this one's 4 and 2 red, so it has dethrone. And whenever Scourge of the Throne attacks for the first time each turn, if it's attacking that player with the most life or tied with the most life, untap all attacking creatures after this phase. There is an initial combat phase. So if you can get haste on this one, you can start taking some people down. So great. Skyline Despot, 5 and 2 red, flying. When Skyline Despot enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. So great because you don't have a lot of card draw, and Monarch's such a fun mechanic. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you are the Monarch, you put a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. You have big dragons, so people tend not to swing into you. So you can keep the Monarch. And also, small tokens, and they will, they're happy to sacrifice them. But I find that if you have a few dragons, people tend not to swing into you until a board fight. Dragon Mage, 5 and 2 red, flying. Whenever it deals damage to a player, each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards, and it's 5/5. So just a wheel. Again, not a lot of draw. So getting this in. Now, you do want to, you have to hit. You have to do combat damage. So you have to wait a turn, but just to refill your hand's quite nice. If you can get haste as well, it's even better. Nullspine Dragon, 5 and 2 red. Whenever Nullspine Dragon comes into play, you may discard your hand and draw cards equal to damage dealt to target opponent this turn. So fantastic. I might have 1 or 2 cards. I'll swing in with Lathliss and a token, and I'm drawing 11 cards. So really, really great. Not that great with haste, but it's great to fill up your hand. Drakazeth, More Flames, 4 and 3 red, flying. Whenever More Flames enters the attack, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. So just great to get rid of some pesky flyers or any other pesky creatures. So really, really powerful, but it does have to attack, so you'll need haste. Balefire Dragon, one of the other big ones, 5 and 2 red, flying, 6/6, where Balefire Dragon deals combat damage to a player. It deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. So someone's got some big board presence, you can take them out. It'll need haste, but very good. Tyrant's Familiar. I love this card actually. 5 and 2 red, flying, haste, has Lieutenant. So as long as you control your commander, Tyrant's Familiar gets +2/+2 and has whenever Tyrant's Familiar attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. So, I want Lathliss out, so I want to have it out. So have it getting Lieutenant with this, and it has haste. So it's a 7/7 for 7 haste that does 7 damage to a creature, which will kill lots of creatures. So you're just going to get rid of creatures. So, you know, you're going to be doing 7 damage. You're going to be killing a creature. Yeah, just a solid card. Terror of Mount Velis, another one that I'll tutor for. So this is 5 and 2 red, flying double strike, and whenever it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain double strike until end turn. Yeah, fantastic win condition. You know, you got a Lathliss and a few tokens and another dragon. You know, you can just swing in for double strike damage. Yeah, fantastic. And another one of the biggest ones, maybe the best, or arguably the best, or arguably the second best. Udvara Hellkite, 6 and 2 red, flying. Whenever dragon you control attacks, put a 6/6 dragon, red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So you have Lathliss out. This comes out. You swing with Lathliss. You're getting a 6/6. You know, you're just getting so much more value. If you're getting some of those, if you get Scourge of Valkus on the battlefield, you're just going to start mowing people down, Warstorm versus Surge, stuff like that. So dragons, lots of them, a lot of fun. And then lands makes up the remainder of it. So Scavenging Grounds, taps for colors to and sacrifice to exile all cards from graveyard. Just some graveyard hate, fantastic. Ghost Quarter, taps for 1, sacrifice it to destroy target land, and that's controller can search for a basic land. I generally put this in all of my decks, or my at least budget decks, if it's a bit more on the budget side. I'll put something like Strip Mind or Wasteland in there. But Ghost Quarter, just to get rid of those Field of the Dead and things like that. But yeah, I'm happy with just the one. Blast Zone, it ends the battlefield with a charge counter on it. It tests for colorless, and you can pay XX to put a charge counter on it, or 3 and tap and sacrifice to destroy each non-land permanently converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters. So, you know, you could just, it comes in with 1. You have sometimes plenty of mana to spare if you're not playing some big dragons or your draw didn't quite work out. So just to have some removal there. In the form of like a Ratchet Bomb. Fantastic. Forgotten Cave comes in tap for red, but it has cycling red, so late game I'll just cycle this. Path of Ancestry comes in tap, but you can tap it for your commander's color identity, and when you spend mana that's on a creature that shares your commander's creature type, you scry for 1. Pretty much I'm playing like 30 dragons, so it's gonna get some value. War Room. You can colorless or pay 3 and pay life equal to your commander's color identity, so that will be 1. So draw a card. So 4 mana including this, and 1 life to draw a card on land. Great value. Bonder's Enclave, taps for colorless, 3, and tap this, draw a card. Activate this only if you have a creature with 4 or more power. You will have creatures with 4 or more power, so this is 4 mana, draw a card on a land. Great value. Cryptid Caves, just taps for 1, colorless, but 1, and sacrifice this to draw a card. Activate if you have 5 or more. Just a kind of a Mind Stone on a land. Sometimes you need that late game draw. Myriad Landscape, it's here for some ramp. Enters the battlefield tapped, colorless. It taps for colors, or 2, and sacrifice this. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share the land type, so mountains, and put them on the battlefield. You want to play this early, tap this, get that 4 or 5 mana, get up to Lathliss as fast as possible. Temple of the False God, normally I probably wouldn't put this in too many decks, but I am playing lots of lands, so and I do want more mana than I can have. So this taps for 2, activate this ability only if you control 5 or more lands. So hopefully you draw this as your 5th land. If you draw it early, it's gonna suck, but yeah, fantastic if you don't. Haven of the Spirit Dragon. So it taps for colors, or it taps for any color of dragon spell, so for red. Or you can pay 2 and sacrifice it to return target dragon card or Ugin Planeswalker card from your graveyard to the hand. So you can get Ugin, Spirit Dragon, or any one of your dragons. So some value. It's really the only recursion in here, but no one's going to be going after your graveyard, so you can have your Ugin sitting there. Crystal World Spirit Dragon. So tap for colorless or pay 1 and tap this to put a storage counter, or tap and remove storage counters to add X mana in any combination of colors. You can only use that to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. So, if you have some mana light spare, you can just pump into this, and then on a later turn you can start putting into some dragons. And then the rest is just mountains. You need a lot of mountains. So, yeah. So this is my Lathliss deck. I do enjoy it. It is weak to interaction. So if your opponents are playing very interactive decks, you will struggle. But sometimes, I find that there are a lot of pods that just don't play a lot of interaction. They're doing their thing, so you get to do your thing. So yeah, if there's no interaction, super fun. If there is interaction, you're going to struggle. Still lots of fun though, because you're just playing big dragons and beating down on people. So give it a go. Lots of fun.